I don't want to get excited about the offseason, guys, because every year I am, but they just continue to disappoint. Remember last year, everyone was like, man, the flat cap, it's going to be the Wild West, and I don't think we had a trade in the first round at all. Or it was something very minor that's skipping my memory.
Calgary traded down twice.
Like twice, yeah. Because the Washington Capitals wanted Hendrix Lapierre that much.
Well, he was falling because he was hurt. Okay, whatever. That was a weird draft. It was so long, so long. Okay.
I remember I said Jimi Hendrix Lapierre on the live. I remember that one.
Yes, you did.
Yes. Okay, looking at some other news around the league. Viktor Arvidsson. This kind of came out of nowhere. Elliot Friedman, and then later in the day, Pierre LeBrun would add on it. Viktor Arvidsson is now a member of the LA Kings. They get the forward they've been looking for. A speed demon, he can score. I don't think his cap is terrible. He's been kind of down production-wise in Nashville. Then again, unless your name is Philip Forsberg, every forward on that team is disappointing. But this is a move I really like for the Kings. And at the same time, I can't really make fun of the Predators for this because it felt like a necessary evil for expansion.
I guess that's like we did the expansion stuff, right? Like, and in our case, I guess we didn't protect either Duchesne or Ryan Johansson.
We did not. No,
we did not. Right. So maybe like that's the only thing which taking out two $8 million players should really open up who you can protect. But maybe they are protecting both of them or one of them. Well, I guess we'll find out eventually or soon. But like other than that, I don't know. From Nashville's side of it, that has to be the only explanation that makes sense because I honestly can't think of any other reason. But from LA's point of view, I also really like this deal just because when you're building in the case that they're in, where I believe it's Rob Blake who's general manager.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he wasn't really prepared to spend assets for the Kings to push because they were having at the beginning of the year quite a good season. Like we saw Dustin Brown have a resurgence and a couple other guys. He wasn't prepared to break the bank and add a guy. And I think now you spent a second and a third round pick, which was yours, but you still have.
They have a lot.
Yeah. They have plenty. They're fine. To add a guy like Viktor Arvidsson, who maybe isn't the prime Viktor Arvidsson anymore, but he is still a good player who has been on playoff runs, and you are now adding him to your leadership group of Anze Kopitar, Dustin Brown, Drew Doughty, especially when a lot of the guys you are putting in that lineup are young.
I think he's a definition of a redemption guy. You know, he dropped in the draft as an overager because he was 5'8", and he just became a good, well-rounded guy. And what I kind of see with this is he needed this. A lot of the reports were on how cautious he kind of became with the Predators after his huge injury, that he wasn't crashing the net anymore, that he was trying to like kind of rediscover his game more as like a skilled guy. And I think going to the Kings now that he kind of gets out of a Nashville team that they don't really know what they're doing right now. And they're still kind of just treading to a Kings team that, you know, they're trying to build something. They're trying to get the most out of all the guys that are there. And I think there is some evidence that he could discover like maybe not the 34 goal pace, but something similar to it.
Was he the one who was injured when Robert Bertuzzo cheap shotted him?
Yeah, that was the one that was cited that like
right.
that really changed everything for him.
Right.
By the way, a thing on that's the second rounder is this season. Next year is the third rounder. Picks in this year's draft are just hocus pocus. So I also really like just do whatever.
Unless you're Buffalo.
Yeah, unless you're Buffalo. Owen Power, he's not coming. Something also a little interesting about this is it's another example of the Kings sort of stepping away from their old identity. Big tough guy. Instead they got small speedy guy. And when in the world are we going to stop counting out small players? Just come on now.
Yeah.
You know what, Daniel? I think maybe this can be a sign of Nashville Maybe they are doing the rebuild here. You'd hope so. You still don't imagine you got to be a team that's really confident in your expansion plans if you're going to make a move for an Ekholm or someone like that. Now, I still think like that's going to happen. You can still see that as a draft move, but I think maybe this could be Nashville finally saying, all right, we got a bit of playoff revenue. We did it. Let's fix this team now. Or try to. I don't know. But
does that mean they're going to trade Philip Forsberg? Because he does not seem happy about this trade.
No. What did he just posted a big emoji of a thumbs down?
Yeah.
Listen.
It's like the Jonathan Taves. Like, I didn't know we were rebuilding.
Okay. Listen.
No, we had that discussion.
Yeah, listen. Come on. There's two sides of this. One is it's a business. The second, right, which I can understand, they're friends. They've been through a lot together. They had that 2017 run together. But I get it. Like, let's not crap on a player for just posting something. It's not like he was saying death to David Boyle. He was simply voicing his opinion on his friend getting canned. And again, it's a human thing. It was honestly, as long as they commit to a direction in Nashville, it's a good move. I think normally, again, it's a fine deal. That's what it is. It's a fine deal. Nothing more, nothing less.
If they don't commit, they're going to end up like Minnesota.
Exactly.
They're going to struggle to have Yaroslav Askarov for 6 years to come to the organization.
Again, that's why it's the perfect time to rebuild, because you don't rush the young goaltenders. It doesn't work anymore. It never has. Don't rush goaltenders. Look at Vasilevsky. When I saw that clip of him coming in for Bishop in the 2015 finals, I was like, oh yeah. And then you look at him now, and it's like, he should probably be a 2-time Vezina winner right now.
Or Carey Price.
What do you mean?
They let him play in the World Juniors again, like 2 years after his draft year. And then when he came in, it was still Cristobal Huet for most of the year.
Yeah, exactly. And then Carter Hart, you would hope maybe they get him a better support system. I mean, the goaltenders are weird, man. They're very, very strange. You can never really – very rarely are they studs from that young age. Very, very rarely.